32M. Know this sounds pathetic, but I'm desperate and I don't know what else to do. My wife thinks I'm being ridiculous and selfish, but I feel like I'm going insane without any personal space or time to myself. Some background. I've been married to my wife, Jessica, 30F, for 6 years, and we have 3 kids, Emma, 8F, Tyler, 5M, and baby Lucy, 18 months. Jessica is a stay-at-home mom, and I work full-time remotely as a freelance accountant, which means my income varies month to month depending on my client load. The problem started about a year ago when Jessica began treating me like I'm always available just because I work from home. She'll interrupt my work calls to ask me to help with the kids, change diapers, or deal with household emergencies. I've tried explaining that working from home doesn't mean I'm not actually working, but she says since I'm right there, I should help more. When I'm not working, I literally cannot get 5 minutes alone. If I sit down to eat lunch, one of the kids needs something. If I try to watch TV after work, Jessica wants to discuss our day or plan weekend activities. If I go to our bedroom, the kids follow me. If I try to read a book, someone always needs my immediate attention for something. I used to play video games as a way to unwind after work. Nothing excessive, maybe 30 to 45 minutes a few times a week. But every time I'd start playing, either Jessica would start talking to me about something important that couldn't wait, or one of the kids would need help with homework, or there would be some household crisis that required my attention. 3 months ago, I realized that the only place in our house where I could get any privacy was the bathroom. It's the only room with a lock that people actually respect. So I started bringing my Nintendo Switch in there and playing for 20 to 30 minutes when I felt overwhelmed. At first, it was just occasionally, maybe twice a week when I was feeling really stressed. But it's gradually increased because it's literally the only time I can do something I enjoy without being interrupted. Now I probably spend 30 to 45 minutes in the bathroom with my Switch about 4 to 5 times a week. I know it sounds weird, but it's the only way I can decompress and have some personal time. Jessica discovered what I was doing last week when she heard game music coming from the bathroom. She was furious and said I was hiding from my family and being selfish and immature. She said that fathers don't get to just disappear when they feel like it and that I need to be present for my family. I tried to explain that I just need a little bit of personal time to recharge and that the bathroom is the only place where I can get it. Jessica said that's ridiculous and that I should be able to find time for myself without hiding in the bathroom like a teenager. She's right that it's not ideal, but I don't know what else to do. Every other space in our house is considered family space, where I can be interrupted at any time. I've tried asking for 30 minutes alone in our bedroom or the living room, but Jessica says that's not how family life works and that I need to be available for the kids. When I pointed out that Jessica gets alone time when she takes baths or does her skincare routine, she said that's self-care and completely different from playing video games. She said those activities are necessary for her mental health, but video games are just escapism. The breaking point came yesterday when I was in the bathroom for about 40 minutes playing my Switch. Jessica started pounding on the door, saying that Tyler needed help with his homework and that I was being ridiculous hiding in there. When I came out, Jessica said she was embarrassed by my behavior and that it was pathetic for a grown man to hide in the bathroom to play games. She said our kids are going to think their father cares more about video games than spending time with them. I got frustrated and told Jessica that I work 50+ hours a week to support our family. I help with household tasks every day, and I spend time with the kids every evening. All I want is 30 minutes a few times a week to do something I enjoy without being interrupted. Jessica said that's what weekends are for, but our weekends are always packed with family activities, household projects, or social obligations. There's never actually any downtime. She's now saying that if I need video game time so badly, I should wake up earlier or stay up later to play, instead of abandoning the family during normal hours. But I already wake up at 6 a.m. to start work before the kids get up, and I don't go to bed until 11 p.m. after we get all the kids settled. Our oldest daughter, Emma, asked me yesterday why I spend so much time in the bathroom, and I didn't know what to tell her. Jessica says this proves that my behavior is affecting the kids, and that I need to stop immediately. I feel like I'm being unreasonable, but I also feel trapped. I love my family, but I'm an introvert who needs some alone time to function properly. The bathroom gaming sessions help me stay patient and present when I'm with my family, because I've had a few minutes to decompress. But Jessica is right that it's weird and probably not sustainable. I just don't know how else to get the personal space I need in a house with 3 young kids and a wife who thinks anytime I'm not actively engaged with the family is selfish. Am I in the wrong for hiding in the bathroom to play video games? Or is this a reasonable response to having no other personal space in my home? Update, 8 hours later. Wow, this really blew up. Thank you to everyone who responded, even those who call me pathetic, which, fair enough. Reading your comments has given me a lot to think about and some concrete ideas for how to address this situation. A lot of people pointed out that this isn't really about video games. It's about the lack of boundaries and personal space in my marriage. Several people said that Jessica's expectation that I'd be available 24/7 isn't healthy for either of us or for our kids. Some people asked about Jessica's alone time. She does get some. She takes long baths 2 to 3 times a week, spends time on her skincare routine, and goes out with friends about once a month. She also has quiet time in the afternoon when baby Lucy naps and the older kids are settled with activities. Several people suggested that Jessica and I need to have a serious conversation about boundaries and personal time for both of us. Some people recommended couples counseling, which honestly hadn't occurred to me, but makes sense. The most helpful comments were from people who suggested specific solutions. Scheduled personal time for both Jessica and me, better work boundaries since I work from home, and having an honest conversation about our needs instead of me just hiding in the bathroom. Some people pointed out that my bathroom gaming probably makes Jessica feel like I'm avoiding the family, even though that's not my intention. I can see how it would look like I'm running away from responsibilities rather than just trying to decompress. I'm going to talk to Jessica tonight about setting up regular personal time for both of us and establishing better boundaries around my work hours. Hopefully we can find a solution that works for everyone. Update 2 to 2 days later. I talked to Jessica about the personal time and boundaries issue, and it revealed some much bigger problems in our marriage that I wasn't fully aware of. I started the conversation by saying that I thought we both needed more personal time and better boundaries. Jessica immediately got defensive and asked if I was saying she was being unreasonable about the bathroom gaming. Well, I tried to explain that I wasn't blaming her, but that I thought we needed to find a better solution. Jessica broke down crying and said she's been feeling overwhelmed and unsupported for months. It turns out Jessica has been struggling with anxiety and depression since Lucy was born, but she's been trying to hide it because she doesn't want to seem like she can't handle being a mother. She said she's been having trouble sleeping, feeling anxious about the kids' safety, and feeling overwhelmed by daily tasks. Jessica said that when she interrupts my work, it's usually because she's having a panic attack or feeling like she can't cope, and she needs me to help her feel grounded. She said seeing me retreat to the bathroom to play games makes her feel like I'm abandoning her when she needs support most. She also revealed that she's been worried about our finances because my freelance income has been inconsistent lately. We had 2 months where I made significantly less than usual, and Jessica has been anxious about our ability to pay bills and save for emergencies. She said watching me waste time gaming while she's stressed about money makes her feel like I don't take our problems seriously. This conversation made me realize that I've been so focused on my own need for personal space that I haven't been paying attention to signs that Jessica was struggling. She's right that I should have noticed her increased anxiety and mood changes. But Jessica also acknowledged that she hasn't been communicating her needs clearly. She said she's been expecting me to just know when she needs help and getting frustrated when I don't pick up on her signals. We talked about the work interruptions, and Jessica admitted that she knows most of them aren't true emergencies. She said that when she's feeling anxious, small problems feel overwhelming, and having me nearby makes her want to involve me in everything because it makes her feel less alone. The conversation was difficult but productive. We agreed that Jessica should talk to her doctor about her anxiety and depression, and that we both need to work on better communication about our needs and struggles. We've also agreed to try couples counseling to work on our communication and find better ways to support each other. Jessica said she wants to find solutions that don't involve me hiding in the bathroom, but she understands now that I do need some personal time. I feel hopeful that we can work through this, but I also realize that this situation is much more complicated than just needing alone time. Jessica's mental health struggles require real attention and support. Update 3 to 2 weeks later. We started couples counseling, and Jessica has begun treatment for her anxiety and depression. The therapy sessions have been revealing some deeper issues in how we communicate and support each other. Our couples counselor, Dr. Chun, helped us understand that we've both been struggling with unmet needs, but expressing them in ways that make the other person feel attacked or abandoned. Jessica's anxiety has been making her hyper-vigilant about potential problems, which is why she interrupts my work so often. My response of withdrawing to the bathroom was making her feel more anxious and unsupported. Dr. Chun validated that I do need personal time as an introvert, but pointed out that the way I was getting it was actually making our underlying problems worse. She said that scheduled, communicated personal time will be healthier for both of us than secret bathroom gaming sessions. Jessica started taking anti-anxiety medication 2 weeks ago, and while it's still early, she's already noticing some improvements in her ability to cope with daily stress. She's also seeing an individual therapist to work on coping strategies for her anxiety. We've begun implementing some boundaries around my work time. Jessica and I created a signal system where I put a sign on my office door when I'm in important meetings or on client calls. Jessica has been respecting this boundary much better, though she still struggles on her high anxiety days. The personal time discussion is ongoing. We've agreed in principle that we both need regular personal time, but implementing it has been challenging. Our first attempt at scheduled gaming time for me was interrupted by Lucy having a fever, and Jessica had a panic attack when Tyler fell off his bike during her scheduled personal time. Dr. Chun says this kind of trial and error is normal and that we shouldn't expect perfect implementation right away. She's helping us develop flexible systems that can adapt to the chaos of life with 3 young kids. The financial stress issue is also being addressed. I've been working on diversifying my client base to create more consistent income, and Jessica and I have created a better budget that accounts for the fluctuations in freelance work. Having a plan has helped reduce Jessica's anxiety about money. The kids have noticed the changes in our household. Emma asked me why I don't spend as much time in the bathroom anymore, and Tyler has been asking if mommy is feeling better. We've been trying to explain in age-appropriate ways that sometimes adults need help feeling better, just like kids do. I've completely stopped the bathroom gaming while we work on better solutions. It's been hard because I still feel that need for personal space, but I understand now that it was making Jessica's anxiety worse. We're making progress, but it's slower and more complicated than I initially hoped. Dr. Chin keeps reminding us that changing communication patterns and addressing mental health issues takes time. Update 4 to 1 month later. We've made significant progress, but we've also hit some setbacks that have taught us important lessons about managing expectations and dealing with real-life challenges. Jessica's anxiety treatment has been helping, but it's not a straight line of improvement. She's had several difficult days where her old patterns of interrupting my work and needing constant reassurance have returned. Her therapist says this is normal and that recovery isn't linear. During one particularly challenging week, Jessica had 3 panic attacks in 5 days, triggered by Tyler getting lost in a store for 10 minutes, Lucy having a high fever, and me being late coming home from a client meeting. During that week, all of our new boundaries and communication strategies fell apart. I ended up bathroom gaming twice that week because I felt overwhelmed by Jessica's increased neediness and my own stress about her mental health. When Jessica discovered this, she felt betrayed and said she thought we'd agreed I would stop hiding from the family. This led to our biggest fight since starting therapy. Jessica accused me of not taking her recovery seriously, and I accused her of using her anxiety as an excuse to control my behavior. We both said things we regretted. Dr. Chun helped us process this setback in our next session. She explained that recovery involves ups and downs, and that we needed to have plans for how to handle Jessica's difficult days without abandoning all of our boundaries and personal needs. We've now created what Dr. Chun calls crisis protocols, specific plans for how to handle situations when Jessica is having high anxiety days or when family emergencies disrupt our normal routines. This includes temporary adjustments to personal time and work boundaries, but with clear timelines for returning to our regular systems. We've also implemented a more realistic personal time schedule. Instead of trying to have the same amount of personal time every week, we've created a flexible system where we adjust based on what's happening in our family. Some weeks I get more gaming time. Some weeks Jessica needs more support time. The kids have been more affected by our struggles than I initially realized. Emma has been acting out at school, and her teacher asked if there were problems at home. Tyler has been having more tantrums and difficulty sleeping. Even baby Lucy seems more fussy and clingy than usual. We've had to acknowledge that our marital problems and Jessica's mental health struggles have been impacting our children more than we wanted to admit. Dr. Chun referred us to a family therapist who specializes in helping kids cope when parents are dealing with mental health issues. The financial stress has actually gotten worse temporarily because of the cost of therapy and Jessica's medication. This added pressure has made both of us more irritable and less patient with each other. We're working on a payment plan for therapy and looking into insurance coverage for Jessica's mental health treatment. Despite these challenges, I do see signs of improvement in our relationship. We're fighting more constructively, addressing specific issues instead of attacking each other's character. Jessica is getting better at recognizing when her anxiety is affecting her behavior, and I'm getting better at providing support without completely abandoning my own needs. The bathroom gaming has become a useful barometer for how we're doing as a couple. When I find myself wanting to hide in the bathroom, it's usually a sign that our communication has broken down or that Jessica's anxiety is spiking. We're learning to use this as an early warning system rather than just a coping mechanism. Update 5 to 2 months later. I'm writing this update because we've reached a turning point, though not in the way I expected. Jessica and I have made the difficult decision to temporarily separate while we both focus on our individual mental health and parenting responsibilities. This decision came after a particularly difficult incident 3 weeks ago. Jessica had been having a string of bad anxiety days, and I had been feeling increasingly resentful about the constant demands on my time and energy. I found myself bathroom gaming almost daily again, and Jessica was having panic attacks every time she couldn't find me immediately. The breaking point came when Emma had a school emergency. She fell and hurt her wrist during recess. The school called Jessica, but she was in the middle of a panic attack and couldn't drive. She tried calling me, but I was in the bathroom with my Switch and had my phone on silent. By the time Jessica reached me, she was hysterical. Emma was crying at school, and I felt terrible that I hadn't been available during a real emergency. Jessica said she felt like she couldn't count on me when she needed me most, and I felt like I was drowning in constant crisis management. Our couples therapist suggested that we might benefit from some time apart to work on our individual issues without the daily stress of trying to manage our relationship dynamics. This wasn't the outcome either of us wanted, but we both recognized that our current situation wasn't working for us or for our kids. Jessica and the kids are staying in our house, and I'm renting a small apartment nearby. We're sharing custody, with me taking the kids Thursday through Sunday every week. This gives Jessica regular breaks to focus on her therapy and self-care, and gives me dedicated time with the kids when I'm not trying to manage Jessica's anxiety. The separation has been hard on everyone, but it's also provided some clarity. During my custody time, I have no problem being fully present with the kids because I know it's my designated parenting time. I don't feel the need to escape to the bathroom because I'm not feeling pulled in multiple directions. Jessica has been able to focus more intensively on her anxiety treatment without worrying about how her bad days are affecting me. She started a new medication and is doing therapy twice a week. She says she feels less guilty about her mental health struggles when she's not constantly worrying about being a burden to me. The kids have adjusted better than expected to the new arrangement. Emma initially blamed herself for the separation because of the school emergency, but family therapy has helped her understand that sometimes adults need space to work on their problems. Tyler has actually been less anxious since the household stress decreased. I've been able to game freely in my apartment, and I've realized that I don't actually need as much gaming time when I'm not feeling constantly overwhelmed. When I have clear boundaries and dedicated personal space, 30 to 45 minutes a few times a week is sufficient. Jessica and I are still doing couples therapy, but we're focusing on learning to communicate better and support each other's mental health rather than trying to fix our day-to-day relationship dynamics. Dr. Chin says some couples need this kind of space to work on individual issues before they can successfully work on their relationship. We don't know yet whether this separation will lead to reconciliation or divorce. Right now, we're both committed to being the best co-parents we can be and working on our individual mental health. The bathroom gaming issue seems trivial now compared to the deeper problems we were both struggling with. Update 6 to 4 months later. Jessica and I have decided to divorce, but we've been able to create a co-parenting arrangement that works well for our family. The process has been difficult, but ultimately healthier for everyone involved. Over the past few months of separation, both Jessica and I have made significant progress in our individual therapy. Jessica's anxiety is much better managed with medication and therapy, and she's developed coping strategies that don't require constant support from a partner. I've learned to recognize my own stress signals and ask for help before I reach the point of wanting to hide from my responsibilities. We attempted a trial reconciliation about 6 weeks ago, but we both realized that while we'd grown as individuals, we'd grown in directions that made us less compatible as partners. Jessica needs a partner who can provide consistent emotional support during her anxiety episodes, and I need a partner who can respect my need for personal space and boundaries without taking it personally. Our couples therapist helped us understand that sometimes people can be good co-parents without being good romantic partners. We've been able to maintain respect and affection for each other while acknowledging that our marriage wasn't working for either of us. The custody arrangement has evolved into something that works well for everyone. I have the kids Wednesday evening through Sunday morning every week, which gives me substantial parenting time while also giving Jessica regular breaks. We also split school holidays and summer vacation. During my custody time, I've never once felt the need to hide in the bathroom to game. When I have clear responsibilities and boundaries, I enjoy spending time with my kids and don't feel overwhelmed by their needs. I game for an hour or two after they go to bed, which feels natural and balanced. Jessica has thrived with the reduced daily stress of managing our relationship conflicts. Her anxiety is well controlled now, and she's even started dating someone new, a teacher who has experience with anxiety disorders and is very patient with her mental health needs. The kids have adapted well to the new arrangement. Emma, who's now 9, has told both Jessica and me that she's glad we're not fighting anymore. Tyler enjoys having special dad time and special mom time. Even Lucy, who's now 2, has adjusted to the schedule and seems happier with less household tension. I've also started dating someone, a woman named Rachel, who's also divorced with kids. She understands the need for personal time and boundaries, and we're taking things slowly while we both focus on our children. The financial situation has actually improved since the divorce. I've built up a more stable client base, and Jessica has started working part-time as a substitute teacher, which she really enjoys. We're both managing our individual expenses better than we managed our combined household. Looking back, the bathroom gaming was a symptom of much deeper problems in our marriage. We were both struggling with mental health issues and incompatible needs, but we were trying to solve them through small behavioral changes rather than addressing the root causes. I don't regret trying to save our marriage through therapy, but I'm grateful that we were able to recognize when our efforts weren't working and transition to a healthier co-parenting relationship instead of continuing to make each other miserable. The kids now have 2 parents who are mentally healthier, less stressed, and more able to be present during their parenting time. That's ultimately more valuable than having 2 parents who are married but constantly in conflict. Final update, 6 months later. I'm writing this final update because our family has found a new equilibrium that works well for everyone, and I want to share what we've learned from this experience. The co-parenting relationship between Jessica and me has become genuinely collaborative and supportive. We communicate regularly about the kids' needs, coordinate schedules effectively, and have learned to separate our personal relationship issues from our parenting responsibilities. Jessica's mental health has continued to improve. She's been on a stable medication regimen for over a year now, and she's developed strong coping strategies for managing her anxiety. She's also built a good support network of friends and family that doesn't rely entirely on a romantic partner for emotional support. My relationship with Rachel has progressed well. She has 2 kids of her own, ages 7 and 10, and we've been slowly blending our families for activities and outings. The kids all get along well, and Rachel and I have very compatible approaches to parenting and personal boundaries. What's interesting is that I rarely game anymore, even though I have complete freedom to do so in my own apartment. While I'm not feeling overwhelmed and trapped, I don't need gaming as an escape mechanism. I occasionally play for fun, but it's no longer a necessary stress relief activity. The kids continue to thrive in the new arrangement. Emma has become very independent and responsible, and she's proud of how well she's adapted to having 2 homes. Tyler loves having dedicated one-on-one time with each parent. Lucy, now 2.5, treats both households as normal and comfortable. Jessica and her new partner, David, have been together for about 4 months, and he's been wonderful with the kids. He has experience with anxiety disorders from his work as a school counselor, and he's been very patient and supportive during Jessica's occasional difficult days. We've all learned that sometimes the best solution to relationship problems isn't trying harder to make an incompatible situation work. It's recognizing when people would be happier and healthier in different circumstances. The bathroom gaming saga has become something of a family joke now. Emma sometimes asks me if I need to go hide in the bathroom when I seem stressed, and I've explained to all the kids that adults sometimes need alone time to recharge, just like kids do. We've used our experience to help other families going through similar struggles. Jessica and I have both spoken with other couples in our therapy group about how to recognize when individual mental health issues are affecting family dynamics and how to address those issues constructively. The most important lesson we learned is that Band-Aid solutions like bathroom gaming often mask deeper problems that need to be addressed directly. It would have been better to recognize and address Jessica's anxiety and our communication problems earlier, rather than letting them build up until I felt like I needed to hide from my family. For other parents struggling with similar issues, I'd recommend 1. Take mental health symptoms seriously and seek professional help early. 2. Communicate directly about needs and problems rather than finding creative workarounds. 3. Consider that sometimes people can be better co-parents than romantic partners for. Focus on what's best for the children rather than what feels like failure or success for the adults. Our family looks different now than it did 2 years ago, but it's healthier and happier. The kids have 4 adults who care about them and are emotionally available. Jessica has the support she needs for managing her anxiety, and I have the personal space and boundaries I need to be a good parent and partner to. Sometimes the best outcome isn't the one you originally hoped for, but the one that actually works for everyone involved.